With the name of Allah, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Words Make People YouTube channel. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and take out a membership if you have not already. This series of presentations are designed to put Imam WD Muhammad in conversation with the esteemed scholars of Islamic history. Our first scholar is Sheikh Qadir al Jilani. This is the first presentation in our three-part series on Sheikh Qadir al Jilani, one of the most influential teachers in the history of Islamic spirituality. In this program, we will examine his understanding of fiqh, Shariah, worship, lawful living, and disciplined obedience to God. Abdal Qadir al Jilani was born around the year 1077 and died in 1166. He lived mainly in Baghdad, one of the great centers of Muslim learning. He was known as a jurist, preacher, educator, and spiritual guide. Although later generations often remembered him through stories of miracles, his surviving teachings emphasized something far more basic: sincere faith, obedience to the Qur'an and Sunnah, purification of character, and responsible service to people. Al-Jilani did not divide religion into competing compartments. For him, Akida, Fiqh, and Ihsan were dimensions of one complete Islamic life. Akida gives the believer sound knowledge of God. Fiqh governs worship and conduct. Ihsan purifies the intention and spirit within every act. When these dimensions remain united, outward obedience supports inward growth, and inward spirituality produces righteous action. His legal training was primarily in the Hanbali school, yet his larger message was never limited to one school of law. The Qadiriyya path later spread among Hanafi, Maliki, Shafi'i, and Hanbali Muslims. The common foundation remained the authority of the Qur'an, the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, and the established obligations of al-Islam. One of al-Jilani's clearest teachings appears in his work Futuh al-Ghaib, or Revelations of the Unseen. He explains that the believer continually encounters three realities: a command to be obeyed, a prohibition to be respected, and a divine decree to be received with patience. This brief statement joins law, morality, and spirituality. The command trains obedience. The prohibition disciplines desire. Acceptance of God's decree trains trust, patience, and humility. For al-Jilani, no spiritual experience could cancel a religious duty. A dream, intuition, vision, emotional state, or claim of inspiration had to be judged by the Quran and Sunnah. If an inner voice told a person to abandon prayer, violate justice, mistreat a family member, consume what is unlawful, or disregard moral responsibility, that voice could not be divine guidance. It was either the lower self, confusion, or deception. This principle protects the seeker from one of the greatest dangers in spiritual life: imagining that personal experience stands above revelation. Al-Jilani insisted that a saint remains a servant. Spiritual maturity does not free anyone from worship. It deepens worship. Nearness to God does not erase moral accountability. It makes the believer more careful, honest, merciful, and dependable. In his major work, Al-Gunya, Al-Jilani discusses purification, prayer, fasting, charity, pilgrimage, lawful food, lawful earnings, marriage, family responsibilities, repentance, brotherhood, and good manners. These subjects show that his spirituality was grounded in ordinary life. A person does not reach God by neglecting daily responsibilities. The path passes through the honest fulfillment of those responsibilities. Prayer should therefore involve more than physical movement. The body faces the Qibla while the heart turns toward God. Fasting is more than avoiding food and drink. The tongue must fast from falsehood, the eyes from what is corrupting, and the heart from resentment and pride. Charity is more than transferring property. It trains the soul to loosen its attachment to possession. Repentance is more than regret. It includes stopping the wrong, seeking forgiveness, repairing injury, and returning the rights of others. Al Jilani also taught balance concerning work and reliance upon God. Tawakkul does not mean laziness. Most believers should earn lawfully, fulfill their obligations, and support those entrusted to them. A person cannot use spirituality to justify begging while refusing responsible work. Nor should a person worship employment, wealth, or social status as if these things independently controlled life. The believer uses lawful means but relies upon God, who creates the result. One plants, works, plans, learns, and prepares. Yet the heart does not bow before the means. This balance guards against two extremes: irresponsible passivity on one side and materialistic self-reliance on the other. His teaching on detachment follows the same logic. Zuhd, asceticism, detachment, or abstaining from excessive love of worldly pleasures in favor of the hereafter, does not necessarily require abandoning marriage, property, community, or useful work. True detachment means that the world may be in the hand without ruling the heart. Wealth can become an instrument of gratitude, charity, education, and service. Poverty can become a trial requiring patience and dignity. Neither wealth nor poverty determines spiritual rank by itself. Al Jilani's fiqh was therefore not cold legalism. It was disciplined obedience animated by sincerity. At the same time, his spirituality was not lawless emotion. It remained accountable to revelation. Shariah gives the path its boundaries. Spiritual discipline trains the traveler. Inner realization gives the acts depth and meaning. These are not three separate religions. They are three aspects of faithful servitude. His practical standard was simple and demanding. Learn what God requires. Perform it sincerely. Avoid what God prohibits. Correct wrongs quickly. Earn honestly. Care for family. Keep promises. Serve the vulnerable. Do not use religious language to escape responsibility. Do not use personal inspiration to overrule revelation. Al Jilani also understood learning as a religious responsibility. A seeker must gain enough knowledge to worship correctly, distinguish lawful from unlawful conduct, and recognize the duties attached to family, work, and community. Knowledge should then become practice. Information that feeds pride but does not reform behavior can become evidence against its possessor. The useful scholar and the serious student are recognized by reverence, humility, fairness, and the willingness to live by the truth they teach, even when obedience requires sacrifice. This approach remains urgently relevant. Modern people are often invited either to practice religion without inward transformation or to seek spirituality without moral discipline. Al Jilani rejects both choices. Ritual without sincerity becomes hollow. Spiritual feeling without guidance becomes unstable. The healthy believer joins correct action, conscious intention, and humble dependence upon God. The first lesson of this series can therefore be summarized in one sentence. The road to spiritual excellence begins with faithful obedience. For Sheikh Qadir al Jilani, the proof of the path is not a dramatic claim. It is a life ordered by prayer, honesty, patience, lawful conduct, compassion, and service. In our next presentation, we will examine Al Jilani's teachings on Akida, Tawheed, the divine attributes, human responsibility, and the decree of God. Thank you for viewing and listening to the Words Make People YouTube channel. If this presentation has benefited you, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.